welcome everybody to Toy Lines Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Romero. With me, as always,
Ian Westhoff.
So how you doing this week, Ian?
Tom, you know me, masquerading as a man with a reason. My charade is the event of the season. If I claim to be a wise man, surely means I don't know.
Very nice. Well put.
Well, thank you. Shout out to the band Kansas for that. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Crazy week. Doing a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
Affording all those expensive toys.
Tom, before we get into everything, I have two things He-Man related I'm going to throw at you.
Okay.
Both of them I didn't know about until one my buddy asked me about. Well, I spoke to him the other night. He actually wants to know if you have it or not. And the other one I just found out. I was like, whoa, this is cool. So, did you know about back in 1985 about the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe appearance at Universal Studios Hollywood?
Yes, there's pictures of that.
That's actually pretty cool. You
can find that on YouTube now.
Yes, I saw the trailer or the commercial, whatever you want to call it. So I went to California in 84 and 85 when I was a kid. And what I thought was, I did not see it then because we went in the summer. And apparently they did this from December 21st to January 5th. And then I think again, from what I've gathered, February 8th to 10th and 15th to 17th. And there was like 14 characters who were there. You had He-Man, which was actually an actual muscular person with a stupid wig. He looked pretty good. She-Ra, Skeletor, Hordak. I think Buzz-Off was in there. Man-at-Arms was in. I think Orko, Beastman, Mossman, who looks so ridiculous. It was like they should have put the dude in a ghillie suit or something. But
just a walking rug.
Yeah, it was just like the worst. You could see that one online, the picture. I'm like, that is the worst Mossman I've ever seen in my life. But what I thought was actually pretty cool, there was a Castle Grayskull backdrop. When you would go up, I think I said She-Ra, when you would go and meet them, they would give you, it was for ages 4 to 11 for this part. You would get a free super action toy. It was one toy limited per kid, and obviously with paid admission. So they would give you either a Skeletor or a She-Ra figure, which actually was pretty cool from Mattel to do back then. So I wasn't sure if you ever heard about that or not. But
yeah, I did.
That's pretty cool.
I was hoping you were going to say Wondar. I would have ended the mystery, but I guess not.
No. You know, it's funny though. I was reading something, when like you go online and check your mail, and some of those sites have like, oh, here's the most expensive toys that you might have had. And it's always like garbage. It's always like, depending on condition, they always say like the highest amount somebody got. And they always say, depending on condition. And they showed Wondar.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, here's the thing. It wasn't the original one. It was, what is he, from the Classics line?
Oh, okay.
They showed the picture of the Classics one.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew just from like looking at the pictures and discussing, I was like, that's not the original. I was like, even I know that.
Yeah.
The second thing I'm going to throw at you in a little bit. So be on your toes. So also, Tom, I believe we don't have a winner for our contest from last week. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. So folks listening, we're going to give us another try. Tommy, what is the prize?
The Masters of the Universe Origins Sky Sled with Prince Adam.
Okay. So new word of the day. You don't got to be like Pee Wee Herman. You don't got to shout it out. The new word is Eternia. Very simple. All you got to do is send an email with the word Eternia and a message. You could say, I hate Ian, if you wish. I just want to see somebody win this toy. That's all you got to do, folks.
Email us at toys, TOYS, podcast@gmail.com. And we'll throw your name in the randomizer and pick out a winner.
The randomizer, which is a very cool machine. I kind of think of that. It's like, first of all, the word does what it says and chooses random. But it sounds like something that should just like randomly turn you into a Muppet or something. And it also sounds like something from like Phineas and Ferb. I don't know if you ever watched the show, like Dr. Doofenshmirtz would have made, like the randomizer nature or something. It's just weird. I just like the word randomizer because it's so random. But nice. Anyway, so folks, give it a try. We want to give you toys, and this is your chance. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. and Eternia.
So have you seen anything new this week? I finally got to see Lower Decks, the Star Trek comedy show.
Oh, that premiered.
Yeah, it was on CBS All Access. It was okay.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be a lot funnier, to be honest with you, but it's entertaining to say the least.
I didn't watch anything new. I'm gonna be honest. I have not been watching a lot of TV this week, just from the weird hours I've been working. I've been very tired, and I just been checking up on the news, like toy related news, and then if I can read and kind of like fall asleep. It's kind of sad. I'm very young. Well, not young. I shouldn't be falling asleep this early, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I haven't seen anything new. TV, movie, anything. It's kind of.
There's a great documentary on Netflix for you gamers called Player One.
What's that about?
Just like the history of video games.
Oh, really?
I'm only 2 episodes in.
How many episodes?
5, I think.
Are they like an hour, 40 minutes?
They're an hour.
So
at least seem like an hour.
Player One.
Yeah, it's trending right now on Netflix. So.
I'll have to check. I haven't been on Netflix in a while, but I'm gonna check that out. It's like the book and the movie Ready Player One, which Ernest Cline wrote the book.
There's a sequel now.
Yeah, I was about to say Ready Player Two.
Yeah.
I'm so tempted to read it because the first book it's so heavy with 80s nostalgia. Mm-hmm. But when I was reading that book, it gives you this twist. At least to me, it threw this twist at me I never saw coming, and I was like, whoa. I didn't see the movie yet, but
you still haven't?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's a good movie. I saw it in the theaters.
Yeah, and I read his second book, which was, and I can never pronounce certain words like this. So the book was called Armada. I don't know if that sounded human or not, but that book was good, but it wasn't as good as Ready Player One. It's sort of like The Last Starfighter, but with modern day computers. And instead of having like this cool starship, they would fight with drones. But there's so much old video game reference to it.
Like Pac-Man or like
80s Atari.
Nice.
Like, he had this mixtape he would play called Raid the Arcade. His father was this huge Atari fan, and apparently Atari used to send you patches when you would get the high score. So like he had a jacket with all the patches on it. So it's a good book, and it's different than Ready Player One. I liked it. I just didn't like it as much as Ready Player One. Ready Player One was much more involved. I mean, I don't know how he wrote that book, because there was so much in it, and like you really needed to know your video game knowledge. So much 80s references in there, which is what I loved. But I was kind of thinking like, and it's a great title, Ready Player Two. But I'm kind of thinking like,
is it going to ruin Ready Player One?
Yeah, like, do we need it? It's like Highlander 2, where it just ruined Highlander 1. It's like, why did you make this movie? It could be good. So
wasn't Highlander 2 like 45 minutes long or something?
It was just.
I remember. I remember seeing it. Sean Connery was on.
I wish it was that short.
But it felt to me like it went quick.
Here's what happens in Highlander 2. Well, here's what happened in Highlander 1. The movie's great. And in the beginning, you hear the narration by Sean Connery saying, it begins, from the dawn of time we came. And essentially, if you haven't seen the movie, there are certain people who are immortal, but they don't know they're immortal until they get killed or they die. And then they stay that age for the rest of their lives. They are a certain breed of people who are battling each other through centuries, from samurais to all the way to modern day 1980 something when the movie took place. Everybody carries a sword, and the only way you can kill one of these dudes is to behead him. And every time you kill one of them, you're getting closer to the quickening, which is going to be this final battle of the last two immortals. And at the end of the movie, that's what happens. And you got one of the greatest movie villains ever, the Kurgan, is one of the last two. And of course, the hero, Connor McLeod. The TV show is okay, but now Highlander 2, this is how dumb Highlander 2 is. They take this great concept, and there's really nothing wrong with that first movie at all. It's got a great soundtrack by Queen, Christopher Lambert. Mm-hmm. He is so good in this movie. What I love about it is he was coming off of Tarzan, The Legend of Greystoke.
Oh, I love that movie.
Where he barely was. He originally, I think he's French, and he didn't normally speak English. So he learned English in bits and pieces. So he had this weird accent.
Mhm.
That's why when he spoke in Highlander, his voice was kind of like it made sense for this dude who's been alive for centuries to have an just this accent you couldn't figure out where it's from. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So Highlander 2 starts off that they're alien. They're on another world, and for some reason, him and Sean Connery know each other, and they're being punished, and they get sent to Earth for punishment. And then from there, the only other part, there's these weird dudes flying on like gliders, like the Green Goblin. And then the only part I liked in the movie, Connor McLeod and Sean Connery's character, which I can't remember his name at the moment, they drive into this building in a car and they get shot. And when they get out, they compare who got shot more. And that was like the only two things I remember, other than the movie being terrible. So don't watch Highlander 2. Watch 1 and be glad you saw it.
Man. I recently purchased Conan the Destroyer on iTunes.
First or the second?
That's the second one.
Oh, so that's the one with Olivia Diabo.
Yes. And Super 7, if you're listening, we need a Olivia Diabo figure, please, in the Ultimates.
There's a lot of people in that movie. It was
Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, Grace Jones.
Grace Jones. A lot of people, especially Conan fans for some reason, a lot of people dislike that movie.
It's the one I like more personally.
Yeah, I like it better than the first one. The first one was great. Don't get me wrong. A little bit too adult, when I first saw it, but right. The second one I love.
Yeah, I remember that one more than the first one. I don't think I've seen them all either. Like, I don't think I've seen them completely
There's
through.
only 2.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them completely through. But that's the one I remember the most. I mean, if the Wonder Years came out in like 89, and that was probably 80-something, so Olivia Diabo was still pretty...
Oh, yeah, she was a teenager probably.
Because then she went on after during the Wonder Years or afterwards, she was in that movie Greedy with Michael J. Fox. And it was Michael J. Fox, it was Phil Hartman, it was Kirk Douglas was in it. It was a really funny movie. Phil Hartman's great in it. I think she does voice work now, too.
She does, yeah.
Yeah, so Conan.
And that concludes the Olivia Diabo podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yes. Next time we'll be back with the Fred Savage one.
But no, seriously. I loved Conan the Destroyer. I mean, it was just flat out an action movie.
Right.
Now, I know Oliver Stone wrote the first one, which is probably why it's more adult. Right.
Did not know that.
And then Roy Thomas from Marvel, he actually penned or scripted the Destroyer.
Interesting. So I didn't recognize the name, and it's pathetic. For some reason, I was thinking of Dave Thomas, the dude from Wendy's. I'm like, the Wendy's guy wrote Conan, but I don't know. Okay. So that's sad. My mind is shot.
So DC fandom was this week. It was okay.
It was. Did you think it was overhyped? Because you watched more than I did.
Absolutely. I thought it was. I thought it was bad timing,
Yeah, you just let go half your crew.
Yeah, a little bit poor taste. I mean, most of it. This is the future of DC now. All they care about is movies.
It's like you're on fire. But by the way, tune in on this day and watch us brag about what we're doing.
Exactly.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah. It's exciting for movies, but at the same time, if you're a comic fan, it's always lingering in the back of your mind. All these people that left.
What I thought was cool was, when I first put on the website, I thought you could just skip through things or select certain things. I didn't know it was everything's at a certain time.
Yeah.
And the one thing I liked 2 things that I saw. I only saw 2 things. So the one thing I liked was, which we talked about before, the Batman Forever and the Batman 66. So I guess
that was cool.
That was very funny. It was just it was really, really good. That actually I thought was great. And it was old footage from Batman Forever, just new dialogue. And Batman 66 is that, they just did an episode with that stupid giant clam thing that I liked. So that was very funny. It was, whoever wrote that, well done. I know one of the things you watched, and I know we're going to get into that. So what else did you like from it before we go into it?
I was happy to see that Milestone Media is coming back.
So they bringing back all the characters?
As far as I know, yes.
But in comics or movies?
No, in comics, which is kind of interesting because by now, I guess
Static Shock.
Right, Static Shock, Hardware, Icon, Blood Syndicate. I guess they're not that known right now to be featured in movies.
Milestone. Well,
Yeah.
Static Shock did have his own show, cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't he have a live action or no?
I think he was
appear in
on
an episode?
not that I know of. I know he was on Young Justice.
Okay.
With Greg Wiseman and his crew.
Okay. And then he had his own show back in the 90s, I think.
Yeah. That was actually a great show.
I think Phil Lamar did his voice in one of those things.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, Phil Lamar is like the voice of... I mean, he might be on the path to being the next Frank Welker.
Or Mel Blanc.
Or Mel Blanc, yeah.
I mean, the difference, I would say, would be that Welker can do a lot of animal noises, like lions and tigers and bears. But no, seriously, he does like the Tiger Raja from Aladdin. He does Abu. Does a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
So Welker can do the voice, and the animals, and Blanc was more like sound effects, but also voices. But Phil Lamar, I mean, Samurai Jack, incredible. Like when he would speak as Samurai Jack, of course it was, it was a little bit of dialogue, but when he said it, it had meaning. Like whatever Jack said, it was just like...
Excuse me. He's a great voice actor.
And I saw something on him. He attended, I don't know, Yale or Harvard or something, I think, for acting. And somehow, because, he was in Pulp Fiction. He gets shot in the face. And his career as a voice artist is just excellent. I mean, he's so talented too. It's just like...
He's going to be the new hero in Masters of the Universe Revelations.
He's playing the character. Okay. Cool.
The character has never been seen before.
Is that He-Man's son?
No, that's the second one. The one I'm thinking of is Hero 1. He was originally billed as the greatest wizard in the universe, but Classics redid that. So
better than Dumbledore and Gandalf?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's built, so yeah, he could probably take them both.
Just muscular built.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was another piece of info that came out that Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman.
Yes.
In the Flash movie.
Which is weird because what didn't he say before this he was done being Batman? And then
what? The DC's turning themselves around movie-wise, like the extended universe. So I guess that's what, the allure to come back as Batman.
He's going to be in the Flash, and Michael Keaton's going to be in the Flash. See, that seems kind of weird. Yeah, but like I thought it was cool that I think it's so cool that Keaton's coming back. And it's just like, yeah, Keaton's going to be Batman. Awesome. So why do you need another one? I know it's like the multiverse, but like how many multiverses do we need in things right now? Marvel is obviously going to have one already, established. We know what's happening.
Well, it's trends. I mean, that's the way things are nowadays. With Spider-Verse, winning an Oscar. So everybody's doing a multiverse. I mean, He-Man did it in a comic. Now there's, the Venomverse. Everybody's Venom. So I mean, that's the trend. So I mean, Doctor Strange is coming out with his own version.
But that's tying into the whole Marvel universe, though, the MCU.
Right.
But I think there's a toy line verse actually where Tommy doesn't like He-Man. There's an alternate reality of us where you don't like He-Man.
I don't think that exists.
No. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Faker Tommy.
Not possibly.
Faker Tommy.
That'd be interesting.
So
Faker universe.
Ben Affleck's playing Batman again. So and there's not much word about the script yet, obviously, right? It's just been announced.
No, yeah, it's just been announced.
Okay, so it'll be weird to see two Batmen in a movie. If they will they meet? Will they?
I'm sure. I mean, Thomas Wayne's version of Batman supposedly in it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And the Flash is Barry Allen.
Yes, it's the multiverse. Who knows? But one cool thing that they pointed out during DC Fandom, so last Christmas was Crisis on Infinite Earths. Ezra Miller's Flash meets Grant Gustin. And it was, it was small, it was quick, but, it was amusing. Like, apparently that was the first time Ezra Miller realized that his name was the Flash.
See, I like Barry Allen. When I was reading Flash in the 90s, it was Wally West. So he's kind of like the Flash to me. Everybody, some people's Flash is, Jay Garrick. So there's that. You said you saw Suicide Squad trailer.
That was awesome. You know what? I wasn't a big fan of the first Suicide Squad, I thought it was kind of hokey and rushed.
Did James
But,
Gunn direct the first one?
No,
Okay, but he did this one.
he did this one. Yep.
Now, then he's going to go back to Guardians.
It was so funny. Like, my wife is a big Guardians fan, the movies. I prefer the comic version, but that's a whole different story. James Gunn on the panel, he just went on and on about this is the greatest movie he's ever done. He's already had 2 Guardians movies. I can only imagine what Chris Pratt and all those other guys must feel like.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But this Suicide Squad, I'm actually looking forward to. I mean, he said after the Ostrander run of the Bucks, and it really looks good. Idris Elba is in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays Bloodsport, the guy that shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet. Really excited. The trailer looked excellent. All the characters are there. I mean, huge cast.
But wasn't
18 people almost?
You worry when they have that many people in a movie.
Oh yeah, screen time.
But you know what? If they did it with the Avengers, Infinity, and Endgame, where it had tons of characters, and some of them turned to dust, but still, I mean, there's a lot of characters and a lot of things you got to get to, and they were able to do it. That we've come a long way. That when in Batman Returns, when we had 2 villains, and you couldn't you didn't know who to give the screen time to, that they finally started doing. They can do it right now. Comic book movies have come a long way.
Here's another thing that's always it's not a debate per se, but I guess it's a personal opinion. So Amanda Waller, who is in charge of the Suicide Squad and the behind the scenes of the DC universe.
Okay.
She's in charge of the Suicide Squad. She's also appeared in Justice League Unlimited, the animated show.
So
she's been in comics.
And second. Okay, so this is not an actual person. You're talking about
a character.
Okay, because I thought you were at first, and then
no.
We made it explain like she was a real person. But okay, go ahead.
Right, but here's the thing about my buddy and I, Mikey. We have this conversation all the time. She has so many different versions of her that we think it should be a uniformed.
Sure.
Now in the cartoon, she's a heavyset black woman.
That's what she was in the comics too, wasn't she?
Yes.
That's how I remember it from.
And then in the movie, she's this, attractive black woman.
Okay.
Thin and stuff. And we're like, that's not Amanda Waller. We want to see the big, girthy Amanda Waller. We believe that's the way she should be. In
the comics, if I remember, I only read one because Batman was on the cover. That's the reason why I bought it as a kid. Mm-hmm. But she was a tough one. She didn't take crap from anybody, right?
Well, she doesn't in the movie either. Okay. I'm being shallow and I'm just talking about her personal appearance. Okay. We feel she should have been more like the cartoon and the comics, rather than this attractive thin woman. Like I said, that's just a personal preference, but I wish they would have went that way. Yeah, it's funny too because when my buddy and I saw the first movie, we're like, "Who's that woman? Where's Amanda Waller?" And we're like, "That is Amanda Waller." It's like, "Oh, that's ridiculous."
So, is the same person in Suicide Squad playing Harley Quinn from the Harley Quinn movie?
Margot Robbie? Yes.
Yeah, she is. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a great cast. John Cena's in it. Capaldi.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, he plays the Thinker, which is kind of cool.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a villain on Suicide Squad. They have Polka Dot Man.
Oh, that's a terrible name.
The Ratcatcher, Weasel. These are very obscure DC characters.
Bottom line people, and they're part of the Suicide Squad is what you send them in there when. So
they're all super villains,
right?
Amanda Waller put chips in each one of them, and if they get out of line, boom, or if they get caught doing their mission, they supposedly explode.
But they go in when nobody else can pull it off. They send in the Suicide Squad.
Well,
sort of. Did I have that right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. They want to send them in because they're expendable.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. It's an interesting idea for a comic when you think about it. It's let's take a bunch of villains and make them do heroic stuff.
Ostrander's run was a great run on the book. I mean, that was really the core of what Suicide Squad is.
But the characters were different because Harley Quinn didn't even exist then, correct? right?
Yeah, she would. Yeah,
She was like a 90s version, and he was 80s.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they had Deadshot. Captain Boomerang was in it. Yeah, Harley Quinn wasn't introduced till later on.
Captain Boomerang from The Flash.
Yes.
I gotta say, The Flash has like weird names for villains, but his villains are cool. Like,
yeah,
when you really think about it, like
he's got an interesting rogue scale.
Mirror Master. I mean, when you really think of any reflective surface this dude can go through, you're pretty much just in trouble. One of the things I like about The Flash is that you can have a cool Flash movie or show and go even into science and physics and do things with it and create really cool stuff. And then, when you have like the Reverse Flash.
Well, Barry was a scientist, so it would just make sense.
So yeah, so the Flash definitely has cool villains. Like Mirror Master is definitely cool. Captain, even like Captain Cold sounds lame. Like their names sound terrible, but they're not. It's like I would say Spider-Man, Batman, and the Flash are the best villains. They just have the worst names, if that makes any sense.
I mean, you have to think about it. Most of these guys were made back in,
of course,
the 60s. So
yeah,
like the Green Goblin, that was horrifying back then.
That's still a cool name. Green Goblin, the Rhino, the Doc Ock. I mean, that's just in Batman. The Penguin. Wow, he's a penguin. That's real scary. I guess it's also how the character's written. If you take Penguin and you make Danny DeVito just like deformed, whatever, or you make him as like a mob boss, there's a big difference in character there. What's scarier? Somebody who's creepy looking, or somebody who is this mob boss who can have you wiped out while you're in his lounge. So the right writer on anything, I think you can have some of the greatest cinema or books or anything out there.
And then, well, speaking of which, have you seen the new Batman trailer?
So yes. So now I am looking forward to this movie, and I have a lot of things I want to talk about. And
when I heard it was announced, I wasn't too.
Did you want to see the trailer, or were you like, or because I really wanted?
I was curious about the trailer. I thought the trailer was excellent. I mean,
did you like Nirvana, it the first time? Or
I did. The Nirvana music was.
Oh, that's what that was in it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Nirvana, that song by Nirvana, Slowing It Down, that made the whole trailer for me. Like it actually brought me in.
Like it was interesting to do that.
The beginning with the tape, and I didn't even realize it at the time until I read about it. That's the Riddler who's doing the taping.
Now, see, do we know that 100%?
That from the article I read.
Okay, because
that's a very interesting take. I mean, it's creepy as all hell, but I mean, I'm into it.
I think the guy being duct taped up and it said no more lies written on it. When I first saw it, I thought the dude doing that was either Hush or one of the owls from the Court of Owls, and I didn't hear that it was official. That's officially the Riddler. So I think right now anything's up. Anybody can be anybody. You only know who Batman is. Like, why would there's so many questions. Why would the Riddler do that? And I thought the riddles were really good. I thought from what we saw, it was way better than Jim Carrey's riddles. I thought that if you're gonna have a Riddler, I want this guy to be extremely intelligent. He has to be smart or just as smart as Batman. If you're gonna write a riddle, it's not like why did the chicken cross the road? You got to really make this guy think. It's like riddles in the dark. You just have to really do this. So with the whole thing in the beginning, very interesting. This guy being taped up. Why? I don't know. I like the way the Batsuit looks. What do you think?
It's okay. I don't like the fact that they leaked out that the symbol's made out of the gun that killed his parents.
Now
that I don't know why, but it bothers me. It just kind of defies all logic.
So I have two thoughts on that. So now, why don't you like it?
I just think
you wouldn't use it.
Like after all those years, I mean, how did he end up getting it? Did he go after Joe Chill? Did he actually, what did he do with Joe Chill? Because this is a violent Batman.
He beats the hell out of that guy.
I was like kind of into that too.
Yeah,
I was like,
when he's on the ground,
angry,
he's still beating him. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah, This isn't the
This isn't your father's Batman from the '60s, kids.
Definitely not. I mean, like I said, it got me interested in it.
What I thought about the suit was that from the very beginning when I saw it, I was like, that emblem, the bat symbol, looks like it comes off. And I thought maybe it's a batarang. When I found out that the rumor is that it's like the handle from the gun. So
Well, it looks like more than the handle. I think it's the whole gun.
What I heard was that each piece is like it comes off, and it's kind of like a weapon. So where the wing is, that's like a bendable piece of weapon. Maybe the whole thing was melted to make this into a weapon. It's kind of like sort of like those things the ninjas use. But I like the idea of like the handle being the gun's handle on the weapon. I think that's kind of interesting. It's an interesting take on the symbol. The other thing that's interesting about this is it makes me think of Detective Comics 1000, and it's the one Kevin Smith wrote, where Bruce Wayne undercover goes to this guy who sells memorabilia in a way of Gotham's criminals, and memorabilia meaning like, you know, that stupid sledgehammer the Joker used to have, or a penguin umbrella, not just supervillains, these crimes of Gotham. And this dude buys the gun that killed Thomas and Martha Wayne. Turns out it's Bruce Wayne, and he melts the gun down into a piece of metal, and that's the piece of metal he puts underneath the bat symbol on his chest. So that way, you know, like, here's a target right over.
So I didn't read the issue. So he purchased the gun?
It was
how does he know it's the gun?
The dude selling it, like, I think it's in a case. In Detective Comics 1000, it's the second story in it. There's this place Matches Malone goes to, and this place sells weapons from Gotham villains. So there's like a panel of like the Mad Hatter's hats in it. The one of the Joker toys had that really stupid sledgehammer with the Joker's face, got a long nose. It's got I think Firefly's helmet. As is like the narration says, they sell goofy masks, giant hammers, elaborate death traps, umbrellas, you know, all that kind of thing. So
yeah, but those are popular Batman villains. Like, people know. Yeah.
So,
but isn't Joe Chill just like a thug?
Yes, but here's the thing. Hang on 1 second. I'm looking for it as I do this with you. So he has a locker full of guns, and the guy selling it says, "You were looking for Gotham guns, right? Oh, I got Gotham guns. Some of the most famous guns in the history of Gotham City crime." And he says, "This one jammed on the Riddler. Over here, we got the twin guns Two-Face used to kill the Winkledots twins last April." And in Matches, Malone is like, "What's that one?" And this guy's like, "What's this?" "Oh, you remember the Wayne murders?" He says 20 years back, that rich man, doctor, and his wife got gunned down outside the old movie theater. Must have broke their poor kid. All that money in the family still got fried, blah, blah, blah. So he says Matches Malone is like, "This is the gun that did him, that, you know, basically that killed his parents." And the guy's like, "Yep, I'm asking $1,000 for it." Matches Malone tosses him $1,500. So he takes the gun home, he melts it down into this just piece of metal, and he slides it under the emblem of the bat. He kind of like takes the metal, he puts it on an anvil, he hammers it out, you know, all that kind of stuff, and he puts it there. So he says, "So the metal that broke my heart as a child, that same metal will protect my heart as a man." And it's a couple of pages. It's called Manufacture for Use. Kevin Smith was the writer, and Jim Lee was the pencils. And that's what that kind of reminded me of when you see, if it's the idea of the gun handles. It's a kind of, to me, that kind of makes sense. If he was going to have it, he's going to do that. Whether or not that I'm right, you know, I like the way the suit looks. I like the gloves. They kind of look like they got projectiles on the gauntlets. Something up, but they could be for fighting. There was a scene of a photo where he had his wrist up. It was like a leaked photo, and underneath there were like two nozzles, if you noticed that or not. And I was thinking about that. I was like, well, what could that be? Could that be maybe he has gas come out of it to make a quick escape? You know, does he shoot anything out of it? Mini batarangs? You know, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing. The idea for the white eyes and the mask, they show the one clip of the cowl with the white eyes. I'm not a fan of that from the movies. I think if they're like lenses that come down for something, that's cool. But I think it's smarter when you see him and see his eyes, because you can kind of get like a reaction out of it. I like also that they show him with the black around his eyes. That it's not just like like in Batman Returns when Michael Keaton takes his helmet off.
Yeah, you see that snippet.
All of a sudden, his eyes are, there's no makeup around it. There was also a scene though where he has kind of like a gray scarf around his mouth and his nose, and his eyes are made up. So maybe black makeup's around his eyes. So maybe it's also a form of just hiding his identity, as well as because Batman will look stupid with white sticking out under the mask. From what I've read, this is like year 2 of Batman, same thing, and he's still kind of like building it, like the suit he put together. I think the suit looks cool, the boots, the car, of course.
I'm not too crazy about the car.
I think
it looks,
it's like a muscle car.
Somebody just put that together in their yard.
And I think that's what it's supposed to be, because like he put the suit together from like spare things, I guess. And maybe he's got all this money. He has a bunch of cars. He takes this muscle car and puts all this junk on it. I like that we hear Alfred. I wish we saw Alfred. I wish we saw Andy Serkis as Alfred. I really want to see him. I'm a big fan of him. I like him. Supposedly we see the Penguin.
Yeah, Colin Farrell underneath all that makeup.
Right, totally. I didn't know that was him until I read something. I was like, that blew my mind. Catwoman, looks like she has at least 2 different versions of the suit, maybe a cheap burglar one, and then one later on she makes. The gang, like the Skeleton Gang or the Joker Gang, whatever they were pretty good. I mean, like you said, when Batman fights him, he just like, not only does he take him down in a matter of
he
seconds,
lays into him,
right? Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, he took him down. Then he's like pounding the crap out of him. I'm like,
yeah, this is an angry,
pissed off.
Yeah, he's angry. So
that was kind of cool. I don't know where they're going. And in a shot of him riding his motorcycle through the cemetery. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's like a path to the Batcave,
Wayne Manor, yeah.
Wayne Manor, like who knows? But it was very interesting to see. Supposedly they only had 25% shot of the movie, and like I thought they already started filming, but I think they're going to start filming again. It seems filming overseas is starting up a lot sooner than here in the States, which is cool because I want this movie made. The thing I thought at the end with the year for 2021 for when it comes out with the question marks, very cool. And it's like, okay, so it's the Riddler, but is that being too obvious
with the goggles and the
no
tape?
just the 2021 where the question mark makes it 2. I feel like they're taking.
You still think it's Hush?
I think they're taking both storylines, the one that they've been saying all along, and I think they're throwing Hush in there. And I think they're kind of, maybe the Riddler's working for Hush, maybe not. Maybe they're combining the 2 characters together to make the Riddler more menacing. Because other than his intelligence, what does the Riddler really have? Could he really beat somebody up? I don't know. It's kind of like the Mad Hatter. He's just a dude who likes Alice in Wonderland. But the code, like if you looked at the envelopes that he gets, there's a riddle, and then there's a code, some kind of like emblems or whatever. And I like that whatever they're doing, that not only does this Batman have to be, not only doesn't have to be, but not only is he superiorly pissed off, he needs to be incredibly intelligent to solve whatever this is. And we don't really know what it is. It's not an origin, so we know that. So we're seeing a movie where we got our hero. He's pretty much made. He's still putting stuff together, his equipment, but he's been out doing what he's doing. So seeing a Batman who does detective work is something we've never seen before. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
So the first trailer they actually showed at DC Fandom was Wonder Woman. I'm looking forward to it. It looks good. I thought there were the first couple of pictures of Cheetah that were released, I thought it was just Christian Wiig and like a jacket and tights, but they actually transform her into an actual animal type person. So kind of a nice surprise. I'm actually, like I said, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a great movie.
Did they show a Flash? No, not a Flash. I'm sorry. A Shazam or Black Adam trailer?
It wasn't a trailer. It was just The Rock talking about Black Adam.
Are they in that movie?
According to him, it's still happening. The Snyder Cut trailer looked amazing.
How long did you say it's going to be?
4 hours.
So this is like the Snyder.
It's going to be, yeah. I'm just curious. What did he cut? Just probably them standing around. But
yeah, if you said he He didn't use any footage that
Supposedly, he didn't use any Whedon footage.
Right. So, I mean, maybe some of that's like not outtakes, but like extended scenes that were trimmed and he added it back in. But I mean, 4 hours, that's longer than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be broken up as, I don't know if it's confirmed. It's going to be broken up into 1 hour segments. And then at the end of the 1 hour segments, if you wanted to watch like straight through the whole 4 hours, they may make that version as well.
But this is going to be on HBO, right?
HBO Max.
Right. Okay. So for some reason, I'm thinking movie theaters are open here in New Jersey, and like people are going to sit for a 4 hour movie. I'm like,
no, that'll never happen. The trailer looked amazing. A lot of stuff. They had Darkseid. They had Superman in the black containment suit. Yeah, just it was interesting to see it. I mean, I'm happy it's coming out. Zack Snyder, after his tragedy, gets to take another shot at what he created. Shazam kind of had a weird thing going on. They didn't have any footage like Black Adam. I mean, the only thing they really showed was the title, Fury of the Gods. Yeah, which is great. I'm all for it.
I want to see it still. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And then apparently Sinbad, the comedian, is going to be in the sequel.
All in all, do you think it was as great as they wanted it to be or made it out to be? But you personally?
I mean, personally, I wanted to see more comic stuff. I know they talked about a lot of young adult books with the characters. I mean, that's basically what they wanted. They set out to accomplish, hey, look, we're doing movies. We got all these celebrities. I mean, they accomplished what they wanted.
Right.
I did like the trailers. I can't wait for Snyder. Like I said, the Batman trailer, seeing Edward Cullen from Twilight as Batman didn't really appeal to me until I saw this trailer. This trailer was awesome. It got me hooked.
So I'm going to be honest. I always think of him from Harry Potter and Goblet of Fires. But yeah, I get your point.
But yeah, it piqued my interest. It did what a trailer is supposed to do. I will admit this. The Nirvana song, that's what actually brought me into the trailer. I was going to watch it just for the podcast, but as soon as I heard that song, because I love that song, as soon as I heard that song, I was hooked with the song. It brought me into Batman. I got interested when I saw supposedly the Riddler doing some weird stuff. And then at the end, this is an angry Batman. Now I'm hooked. I actually want to see this movie now.
I thought the song was interesting because, and I didn't know who it was, but I thought it was interesting because you don't see that in a Batman movie. No. Prince had 2 songs in the '89 version, but that didn't even count.
Well, they had a whole orchestra in the previous movies, if you think about it. I mean,
is it just for the trailer or is it the set?
Even if the movie doesn't have a Nirvana soundtrack or a 90s soundtrack, that trailer alone was enough to get me in.
Right. Like I know,
there could be no music in the movie, and I'm still invested.
It's gonna have a score because the guy who did Incredibles is doing it, but maybe they are mixing music in it. And that song had it kind of, what it kind of made me think of? It kind of made me think of like The Crow. So it was just interesting to see in a Batman movie. How many Batmans do you make? You don't want to keep making the same one. So this is definitely a Batman of its own, which is cool. That's what you want. Kenobi. Ewan McGregor's coming back. Great. What I heard recently, which I'm kind of disappointed. It's only going to be 1 season, and it's only going to be 4 episodes. And but
even if it's a hit, do you still think it'll just be 1 season?
If it's a hit, who knows? I mean, I could see them being like, all right, shareholders being like, get it done.
Yeah, I could see them going the Mandalorian route. Like if it's a real hit,
yes,
why stop there?
And that's what I thought it was going to be. Like that's how I pictured it. Originally, when it was going to be a movie, you figure a 2-hour movie. This is kind of like getting 2 movies in one because 4 episodes, you probably figure an hour or so. So give or take, if this is going to take place between Revenge Episode 3 and Episode 4, even Rogue One, there's a lot to get in those 4 episodes. But that's what Kathleen Kennedy announced, and I guess she's still with Lucasfilm. Maybe this will change if she's gone. But at the moment, this is what's been the newest news. Supposedly the script has changed a bit as well from when it was first announced. I guess maybe to shorten whatever, and no episode titles yet, and nothing. I can't think of her name, but the lady who directed 2 episodes of The Mandalorian and is directing the entire show. She's done Star Wars, she's done some action. It'll be. I just really want to see Obi-Wan. That's really what I want to see.
Him and Anakin coming back with Christian Haydenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Hayden
Yeah.
Christensen, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
That was the Bizarro version.
And then Sony's coming out with. Well, they announced they're in pre-production for Kraven the Hunter.
Did they say he's playing him?
No, not yet. But I thought Kraven was going to be the villain in Homesick. It could be interesting. Well, Homesick is already in production.
Okay. I was thinking maybe one will lead into the other.
I'm not too crazy about solo movies.
I was about to say, I don't think
with the villains.
I don't really think that's the way to go with.
Yeah.
I mean, I know like Sony has the Spider-Man rights, which is why they're doing it.
Right. They have to keep all that.
But are you going to, pull out a lame villain, just to give him a movie, or not that, but my point is like, are they going to give one to every villain? Like, is Doc Ock going to get his own movie soon? Or I hope not.
I don't know. I just want to see more Spider-Man.
Yeah. And plus,
I saw Venom. I saw the Venom movie. It was okay.
But Venom kind of goes like that. He's sort of the anti-hero. Kraven just hates Spider-Man. So I don't want to see a version of Kraven I like. I just want to see him hunt Spider-Man.
Exactly. I had the same feeling about the Joker movie. Like, I don't want to feel compassionate about Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want the Joker to be the Joker. I don't want to see anything about his
exactly.
past.
I just want to see. I'm not really interested in how he became the Joker. I just want to see him be the Joker.
And that's what was great about Nolan's film, because he was the Joker already.
Exactly.
And actually, what was great was in the first one, it just ends with the card, and the second one, he's already pulling his stuff. So it's just like, we don't know anything about him. Every time he tells us, it's a different version, and it's like, cool. That's what I want. I don't want. I don't really like origin stories unless it's needed for like Doctor Strange, for an example. More TV news than anything. Jensen Ackles, who I am a fan of from Supernatural, going to be playing Soldier Boy in this 3rd season of The Boys. Do you watch that show?
I love The Boys.
Haven't watched it.
Love the comic. A lot of differences I wasn't too thrilled about, but the show on itself can stand on its own.
I like Jensen Ackles. He's a great actor. I've never read the comic. I haven't seen the show. Might have a slight man crush on him. He's really cool. He's funny. He's great in Supernatural. He's that's really what I know him from. Which, by the way, they're finally filming their final 12 episodes, and it's going to resume back on October 8th. Yeah, so he's going to be in the Boys. So I don't really know much about the character Soldier Boy. I'm not going to see it anyway because I don't have whatever.
Soldier Boy is kind of like Captain America ripoff, just that type of character.
Okay. So he's going to be in that.
The Boys season 2 starts this September 4th. No, I can't wait. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. I mean, Carl Urban and the rest of the cast are incredible. I have such respect for Carl Urban, only because he's the only Judge Dredd actor never to remove his helmet.
That's right. I forgot he played Dredd.
Yeah, I have such respect for him just for that.
I mean, he was in Lord of the Rings, so he's got I like him already.
Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. He was in Thor Ragnarok. He was in the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek. He played Bones. Yeah. Carl Urban. I mean, he's amazing in The Boys as Billy Butcher. There's a lot of differences between the book by Garth Ennis and the TV show, but like I said, the TV show can hold its own. You don't even need to read the book to understand what's going on. Book's a lot more interesting, though, a lot more graphic, but the show is incredible.
I wanted to ask you my second He-Man thing. This comes from my buddy, Mr. J, not the Joker. He's got the same name. So we were talking the other night, and he mentioned, I never knew of this, and I had to look it up. He specifically wanted me to ask you this, if you have any of them. Apparently, there was a DC Universe Classics versus Marvel Masters of the Universe Classics toy line, a 2-pack.
Mm-hmm. 2-packs, yep.
Yeah, did you collect those?
I have some. They were specific. I think they were a Toys R Us exclusive.
Oh, were they? Okay.
So one of the cool things about that line is they had an original character, something that's never been done before with an existing character, Battle Armor Faker.
Yes, I did see a picture of him. Okay, so he was battle armored.
Right.
And he came with Bizarro.
Yes, and you've never seen Faker with battle armor before. It was always just a Skeletor harness.
So for the people who don't know, much like I didn't know until this, there were several, I think 2 waves. One was Superman versus He-Man.
Right.
One was, this one I don't get, Lex Luthor versus Skeletor. I thought that was a weird matchup. So there was also a She-Ra versus Supergirl. And I really like this one. This one made sense to me. Aquaman versus Merman, with that little corner on the cob sword.
And then there was Zodak and Green Lantern.
Right. And Hawkman and Stratos.
But going back to Zodak, now one of the cool things about the Zodak Green Lantern, if you're a Filmation fan, you'll get this, but Zodak had booted feet in that release, or in my opinion, made him more Filmation, because every incarnation of Zodak had the Skeletor feet, the monster feet.
I did notice something. I was looking at a picture of Skeletor, the toy, and he's got weird feet, like a duck almost. Sort of like
monster feet, the 3-toed. Yeah.
So that's an interesting point, and I didn't realize it until you said it when I looked at the Faker He-Man Bizarro, which I think is a great combination. That you pointed out the battle armor. I think that's really cool.
Because that's supposedly the rarest one and the most expensive one, because you've never seen Faker with the battle armor before.
Right. How rare is that, this line? So I never knew about it.
Well, like I said, it was a Toys R Us exclusive, so I really don't know how exclusive. It didn't sell well, unfortunately. That's why they canceled it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork was cool. Funko's coming out with Ninja Turtle movie figures from the 1990 movie with the Funko head, just different, colors and, maybe more dots or something. At least that's what it looked like when I saw them.
I never knew why, like in Turtles too, they had these spots on them. It's kind of weird.
That always bugged me. I was like,
that wasn't the first one.
Yeah, and they kept it up on the third one.
Yeah. It's like, maybe those are like turtle pimples. I don't know. Target exclusive from NECA, the 1989 Biollante Bio Godzilla figure comes out early September. The box is pretty cool. It's him fighting Biollante with both the title in English and Japanese. What I think is cool is like the bile that's on him, I hope glows in the dark, because that would be pretty sweet. But for you Godzilla fans out there, here you go. Godzilla toy hitting the stands.
And coming from NECA starting this week, actually, it started last week, so it'll probably end this Friday. You can pick up or purchase the Casey Jones / Raphael 2-pack from the movie from the NECA store. So if you log into thenecastore.com, you can pick up your Casey Jones from the movie and Disguised Raphael 2-pack, which is nice because same thing they did last week with Metalhead from the animated show. So NECA's really standing out.
Yeah.
Collectors, yeah. That's very responsible. So far it's been successful. Like I said, Randy from NECA said, if this actually works, we're going to see stuff that isn't going to go to retail. We're going to see stuff that is just going to be for this direct-to-consumer market, like a Kickstarter thing or crowdfunding, which has become the norm right now and very popular. I mean, we could see a movie Turtle Van. Who knows? Maybe we'll even see like a turtle blimp. I mean, sky's the limit right now. I'm glad it's working out. Everybody seems to be happy with it. I mean, I don't know Target's reaction, but that's on them.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, it's their responsibility to have the product there.
Yeah.
Super 7 is having the Voltron, Defender of the Universe, Ultimate Voltron, toy accurate. You know what, Tom? Were you a fan of Voltron as a kid?
I did. It was like one of my first anime.
Here's the thing. Like, I think I liked the toy. I didn't watch it. I wanted it, and I wound up trading our buddy Rich. I gave him a bunch of G.I. Joes for his Voltron. The lions are really cool. I think they look awesome. This is a 7-inch toy. He's $45. It's based on the 1981 Bandai Voltron Lionbot diecast figure. It comes with a vacuum metallized silver blazing sword and shield. It's a cool looking toy. I mean, the Lego version, that was incredible looking.
Yeah,
it was great. This also has a re-engineered articulation with thigh swivel. I guess the original toy did not. So that's pretty cool. Pre-order ends September 21st of this year. And $45, that's pretty good. Is that a good price for a 7-inch toy, do you think?
It is now.
Okay.
Nowadays, yeah. I mean, all the Disney figures were 45 from Super 7.
Yeah.
All the Thundercats, Super 7, Conan figures, same price.
It's like the norm for them.
Yeah.
All right. It's, at least it's, kind of keeping it on a level base.
It's nice to be able to pick and choose at that price.
Right.
Like when they were doing classics or even Club Grayskull, they were coming close to that price point, but you had to be all in. And, Brian even said these are too expensive to do the subscription model.
That's cool that they said that about, like the toy company itself said that.
Yeah, but you also have to include, what's the actual budget of some of these, collectors.
That's
Granted, there are, some people with heavy wallets, but, the majority of us don't, really have that.
Yeah, mine floats. So this is pretty cool from Star Wars. It's the Lego Star Wars Best Bin Dual Set. It's a Target exclusive that comes out August 27th, which, shout out to our buddy Rich, would have been his birthday. 295 pieces. Comes with the base. This is actually the 40th anniversary of Empire. It goes along with the 40th anniversary collection. It has Luke and Vader, and it's based on the scene where Luke's kind of hanging on to that thing with one arm, and it's the ultimate line about revealing the parenting, and it's also the line everybody always gets wrong when about being his father. He does not say, "Luke, I am your father." It's "No, I am your father," which is interesting because everybody always gets that wrong. But yeah, so this is a Lego exclusive. Pretty cool.
Hasbro Pulse is coming out with a Silver Centurion Iron Man Walgreen exclusive. Interesting how who would have thought Walgreens would be the place for exclusive toys.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Like I remember the year before they came out with the Fantastic Four, but you would get Johnny Storm as the Human Torch, as the actual, fire body. That was a Walgreens exclusive. I mean, it was ridiculous, but I mean, you could hardly find those.
Unless you know it's a Walgreens exclusive, you wouldn't think of going there to look for a toy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge Iron Man fan. I love the Silver Centurion armor. I actually have a Hot Toys model of it. Not that impressed with this one. No, I preferred either the Hot Toys one from the movie, which is kind of cool looking, and the Marvel Legends came out with a version, early 2000, late 90s. That one I liked. It was super articulated. The shoulder pads were protruding like they should be. Very pointy. Loved the body armor, the colors. The mask was removable and you can see Tony Stark's face.
That's cool.
Just like the Hot Toys one. Yeah, it just, I don't know. This one has a lot of articulation, has a lot of parts and glamour, and it's got that are shooting, out repulsor rays, but this one just didn't do it for me.
It's not making your toy shelf, this one.
No. Well, the only reason why it's not is because I have the Hot Toys one, which I thought was awesome, and then I have the Marvel Legends one.
Yeah, unless you want to have like a shelf, like an armory of his suits, that would be pretty cool. Just nothing but Iron Man suits.
Yeah, I get that, but I wouldn't use this version. I was really disappointed. Along the lines of Hasbro Pulse, Sentinel has just unlocked 3-pack of different heads. So now you're getting the giant Sentinel body with swappable heads, the armor, the action figures. I mean, the tentacles.
This is because the another price point has been reached?
Yes.
So that they unlocked it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so congratulations to X-Men fans or whoever bought this. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you have to be a really hardcore X-Men fan or a toy collector too. But
yeah. Well, here's something you might like from Hasbro Pulse: Star Wars: The Vintage Collection, Tantive 4 Hallway. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's cool.
This is actually kind of cool. You can pre-order it now. It ships it ships February 1st of 2021. God willing. It's priced at $49.99. It includes a Rebel Fleet Trooper. Now, this is the hallway, for anybody who doesn't know, in the beginning of Episode 4 that Princess Leia's ship is in. I believe that ship was originally supposed to be the Falcon, too, at one point. But It's the hallway where Vader and the stormtroopers invade and everybody dies but Vader. The hallway itself, you can buy more than one and set it up. They're connecting, so you can make like a whole maze of the hallways, like in the ship, which I think is pretty cool. That you can do that. You can, I guess, have one pointing left or whatever. But it's a pretty sweet idea, and you can recreate the scene from Episode 4 or Rogue One, where Vader just goes total kick ass and just like flipping people off with the Force. It's kind of a cool looking toy. And you do.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene of Rogue One.
Yeah,
actually, it was the only thing I liked in Rogue One.
I like Rogue One. I really like I forgot his name, but the blind dude. And I thought it was great that when they included Vader, that they had the red tint to the lenses. It was because in Episode 4, his lenses on his mask have a red tint, and they kept that for Rogue One. So I thought that's a really nice touch that normally would have been overlooked.
Also coming out from Hasbro is, I guess there's another Venom line. There's a new Venom figure, Carnage, Morbius, Spider-Gwen. With the exception of Morbius, they're all Venomized. There's a Miles Morales Venom that I guess sold out instantly. Yeah. And then the Build-A-Figure is Venom Pool. So that's cool. And then finally from Hasbro, Bug Bite. He's basically a recolored Bumblebee from the Transformers Generation line. He's a character in the Netflix show War for Cybertron. Apparently he's just like a mercenary, has no affiliation, but he's all white with a weird, if you looked at the symbol real quickly, it looks like a Beast Wars Autobot symbol, but apparently it's not. It's like his own symbol.
Two things I want to mention coming out from Diamond, which is actually pretty sweet. February 2021, the pre-order is on. Diamond Select Toys. Disney Deforms. It's not exactly what you think by the title. It is a chibi-style PVC figure of Disney characters. They're 3 inches. They are blind boxed, so, here we go again. However, the figures coming out, there is a full case will have 12 figures. It is blind boxed, so get ready to go through that again. The figures coming out, Kermit, the Mad Hatter, the Johnny Depp version, a figure from Tron, Jack Sparrow, Vincent, one of the robots from the Black Hole, which looks really cool. And my personal favorite, which means I have to try to find them, the Rocketeer. The other diamond thing they're doing, Gentle Giant Sculpt. These are the Disney Classic Select Wave 1. It's a set of 4. They're 7 inches on a blister card. 3 of these figures are from the same movie. I believe there's a diorama base for them, which is the interior of the USS Cygnus. We're getting the Black Hole robots, Vincent, Bob, and Maximilian. Personally, the Black Hole, I haven't seen in years, and I would love to get the Vincent and Bob one. I'm not a Maximilian fan. My brother always was. Maximilian was the red robot. I just remember him like chopping up Norman Bates in that one scene with the propellers. The 4th figure in this set is the Rocketeer, which means, again, I need to try to find this. But I'm kind of glad to see Disney doing more with the Rocketeer. It's a good thing. Doesn't mean anything that more Rocketeers coming, but it's nice to know, to see them doing something with the Black Hole, because they don't really do much with it, and the Rocketeer. So I think that's pretty cool that they're doing that.
Medico just revealed their Mafex Dark Knight Returns Blue Batman and Carrie Kelly Robin. Both come with swappable heads and incredible articulation. I've seen some pictures of it. It looks pretty good. Like the first time I saw it, I thought it was coming out of McFarlane, but with this articulation, I was actually surprised.
Yeah, heavy articulation on it. It looks like wrist, elbow, shoulder, torso, knee.
Yeah, a lot of twisting.
Finger. It's like everything. I think you might even blink.
Yeah, it's super articulated.
It's really articulated. And the capes, like we said, it looks like there's something in them so that you can kind of pose them as well.
They both come with swappable heads, which is kind of nice because
that's becoming more and more common, it seems.
Yeah, she has Kelly on hers. She has like a weird ass hairdo.
Yeah, it looks like a mohawk.
Yeah, I like the gray-haired Batman head.
I always liked the gray-haired Batman from Batman Forever. It's pretty cool looking tonight.
You can order Rebirth Flash and Rebirth Joker on Amazon right now from McFarlane Toys.
Yeah, he's really cool looking. Like I said before, I'm a Wally West guy, but he's really cool looking. And he's very cool looking that you can pose him like he's running. Mm-hmm. Like the first time you get a Flash toy that actually looks like he's running instead of not running, which is really cool.
And then also McFarlane Toys, I think I mentioned this last week. There's a 12-inch Witcher figure that they announced based on the video game, not so much the Netflix show. So that's pretty cool.
Did you see their version
12
of the
inches? Alpha 5 and Zordon from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection is now starting to appear at Walmart stores. So hopefully if you're a Power Rangers fan, you can actually get them as opposed to every other toy line out there right now. I guess they missed the boat on PowerCon last week. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Simon or Come On Games has announced a Masters of the Universe game for next year. However, it's going to be a Kickstarter. Yeah, they're famous for making the miniatures for board games. I'm interested to see what they're going to do next year.
Next year is really going to be the year of He-Man.
During their Kickstarter. Yeah, well, they've been saying that for a while now.
Yeah, but it might actually come true. Save money.
The Masterverse figures, I'm all in. I cannot wait to see those figures. I already bought a shelf for them. I mean, even if they look, they're very tight-lipped, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here and saying the Four Horsemen probably sculpted them. So okay. I don't think I'll be disappointed. Yeah, so next year is definitely going to be He-Man. So don't forget, Toy Lines Podcast has a contest running. Yes. Secret word is Eternia. All you have to do is email us at toyspodcast@gmail.com.
And
with the secret word, leave us a little snippet or a message. Yeah, and if you have been listening, thank you so much.
Yes,
spread the word. Please leave a comment, leave a rating, because apparently that's how we, stay on the air.
And tell everybody, your friends, your parents, person on a bus next to you. I don't know. But yeah, so Eternia.
Thank you for Brian Salvatore for our intro and outro music. Thank you to Shared Universe Podcast Studios. Remember, you can listen to us on any podcast platform right now. Podbeam, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Please give us a rating or comment. Follow us on social media on Twitter and Instagrams at Toylines, Facebook at Toylines, or Toy Shelf Magazine. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Play with your toys.
Hi, I'm Marvelous Joe.
And I'm his twin brother, Johnny DC.
And together we host the Dynamic Duel Podcast, a weekly show where we debate who has the superior characters between Marvel and DC.
Which we help prove through stat-based simulations of battles between your favorite Marvel and DC characters. We also review the latest Marvel and DC films to hit theaters.
We'd love to have you come listen as we have a blast every Tuesday. Check out Dynamic Duel at dynamicduel.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.